ज्ञानतिमिरान्तस्य ज्ञानाञ्जनशलाकया चक्षुरुं मिलितं येन तस्मै श्रीगुरवे नमः. Reading from the book The Teachings of Lord Chaitanya, Chapter 23, Why Study the Vedanta Sutra. Unless one is freed from the influence of material energy, one cannot understand the Supreme Lord and his different energies. One who is captivated by the spell of material energy cannot understand the spiritual form of the Supreme Lord. Unless there is a realization of the transcendental form of the Supreme Personality of Godhead, there is no question of love of Godhead. Without realization of the transcendental form of the Supreme Lord, love of Godhead is fictitious, and without realization of love of Godhead, here is no perfection of human life. Such realization of the Supreme Person of Godhead is as follows. It is just like the five gross nature, elements of nature, namely earth, water, fire, air, and ether. They are both within and without all living beings in this world. Similarly, those who are devotees of the Supreme Lord can realize the personality of Godhead, both inside and outside this existence. Pure devotees know very well that they are meant to serve the Supreme Personality of Godhead, and all things that exist are the means for the service of the service to the Supreme Lord. Because a devotee has been blessed by the Supreme within the core of his heart, therefore, wherever he looks, he can see the Supreme Lord and nothing more. Srimad Bhagavatam confirms this type of relationship between devotee and the Supreme Person of Godhead in the 11th canto, second chapter as follows. For a person whose heart is always tied to the lotus feet of the Supreme Lord by the rope of love of person, by love of God, sorry, for a person whose heart is always tied to the lotus feet of the Supreme Lord by the rope of the love of Godhead, the Lord does not leave him even if his remembrance is not very carefully done. Such a person is called a first-class devotee. An example of this is described in Bhagavatam, Dasaskanda 10.30.4. 10.30.4. Gopis were assembled for the Rasa dance with Krishna, but Krishna left them, and so the assembled gopis began to chant the holy name of Krishna. They became overwhelmed with madness and began to inquire from the flowers and creepers in the forest about Krishna, who is compared with the sky and who is situated everywhere. Study of Bhagavatam, therefore, means to be informed about our eternal relationship with the Supreme Lord. The procedure of how to, or the procedure for how to regain Him, and the ultimate realization, which is love of Godhead. Lord Chaitanya next explained to Prakashananda Saraswati how to achieve the supreme percent of Godhead by devotional service. He quoted in this connection a verse from Srimad Bhagavatam, again from the 11th canto, 14th chapter, in which the Lord says, He can be realized only through devotional service with faith and love of the devotee. And it is the devotional service which purifies the heart of the devotee and elevates him to the realization of faith and service unto the Supreme Lord. Even though he is born of a low family such as a Chandala, one who eats dogs, yet to be edged by realization of supreme stage of love of Godhead, one became one becomes full with transcendental symptoms. These symptoms are described in the Srimad Bhagavatam 11th canto 3rd chapter as follows. When devotees discuss the subject of the Supreme Lord, who can cleanse the heart of a devotee from all kinds of sinful reaction? They become overwhelmed with the excesses of different symptoms on account of their devotional service, and as such, when they chant the holy name of the Supreme Lord, due to their spontaneous attachment for Him, they sometimes cry, sometimes laugh, sometimes dance, sometimes sing, without caring for any social convention. We should understand, therefore, that Srimad Bhagavatam is a real explanation of the Brahma Sutra and it is compiled by the author himself. In the Guru Purana, it is said that Srimad Bhagavatam is the actual explanation of Brahma Sutra and is a further explanation of Mahabharata. It is the explanation of the Gayatri Mantra and the essence of and the essence of all Vedic knowledge. This Srimad Bhagavatam contains 18,000 verses and it is known as the explanation of all Vedic literature. In the first canto of Srimad Bhagavatam, there is an inquiry by the sages of Naimisharanya to Sutta Goswami on how to know the essence of the Vedic literature. In answer to the inquiry, Sutta Goswami presented Srimad Bhagavatam as the essence of all the Vedas and histories and other Vedic literature. In the 12th canto, 13th chapter of Srimad Bhagavatam, it is clearly stated that the Srimad Bhagavatam is the essence of all Vedanta knowledge, and one who releases the knowledge from Srimad Bhagavatam has no taste for studying any other literature. In the very beginning of Srimad Bhagavatam, the meaning and purpose of the Gayatri Mantra is also described. I am offering my obeisances unto Supreme Truth. This is the first introductory verse of the Supreme Truth, describing the Bhagavatam as the source of the creation, maintenance, and dissolution of the cosmic manifestation. Obeisances unto the personality of Godhead. Vasudeva directly indicates that Lord Sri Krishna, who is the divine son of Vasudeva and Devaki. The fact will be more explicitly presented later in the text of Srimad Bhagavatam by a direct statement of the author. In his assertion that Sri Krishna is the original personality of Godhead and all other are either his direct or indirect plenary portions or portions of the portion. Srila Jiva Goswami has later on still more explicitly developed the subject matter in this Krishna Sandarbha and Brahmaji, the original living being, has explained the subject of the Krishna substantially in his treatise called Brahma Samhita. In the Samveda Upanishad, it is also said that Lord Sri Krishna is the divine son of Devaki. Therefore, in this prayer, the author of Bhagavatam, the first proposition is that the Lord Sri Krishna is the primeval Lord, and if any transcendental nomenclature for the absolute person of Godhead has to be understood, it must be the name indicated by the word Krishna, the all attractive. In the Bhagavad Gita, in many passages, the Lord has affirmed himself as the original person of Godhead, and it is confirmed by Arjuna with the authorized statements of great sages like Narada, Vyasa, and many others. In the Padma Purana, also it is said that of innumerable names of the Lord. The name of Krishna is the principal name. Therefore, although the Vasudeva indicates a plenary portion of the person of Godhead, and although all the different forms of Lord are identical with Vasudeva in this text, Vasudeva is principally meant to indicate the divine son of Vasudeva and Devaki. Sri Krishna is always meditated upon the Paramhamsas, or the most perfect of the renounced order of life. This Vasudeva or Lord Sri Krishna is the cause of all causes. Everything that exists is an emanation from the Lord, and how this so happens is explained in the later chapters of Srimad Bhagavatam. Prabhu, let me stop this and let me try to explain. I think here what I see is that it talks about the Uttamadhikari, what we learned in earlier stages, or even in the Bhagavad Gita, chapter 8 or 9, I believe. And also it was mentioned in the Chaitanya Charitamrita as well. Now, in Bhagavad Gita, it's also mentioned, I think 5.18. Lord does not look at whether if a devotee is born in a high caste or a low caste. As long as the devotee is able to chant the holy name of the Lord and and then surrender his concentration to the lotus feet of the Lord, definitely Lord will protect him. And here we see Lord as a coach for the devotees, and he doesn't look at whether the devotee is doing right or wrong. I think it is also explained in, I think, chapter 9 from the purport when I take out from uh, I think Chaitanya Charan Prabhu. We can also see anyone who is new to this topic. Srimad Bhagavatam is the original Vedic scripture, which also describes about the Lord, his generic portions, and again a portion of portions, and in all yugas. And he's a creator, and he's the annihilator, and then he's a dissolver of this cosmic manifestation. Only after reaching certain stages. The essence of Bhagavatam. Srimad Bhagavatam is again stated in various Upanishads like Padma Purana, Brahma Samhita, and all other Upanishads. Even if we go back just reading Bhagavad Gita alone, we can see a lot of times Lord Himself refers Him as the Supreme Personality of the Godhead, the Creator and Annihilator, and also the Destroyer. I think in chapter 7, He describes Himself as the Creator of all the nature. He also mentions again in chapter 8 how to concentrate, how to devote, towards the Supreme Person of Godhead, and then how to make sure that even if in the lowest form can rise to the highest form, from a Kanishtadhikari to Uttamadhikari. Definitely, uh, we also saw about the four key verses in Srimad Bhagavatam, which tells about everything about Srimad Bhagavatam in a very nutshell. One who reads these books, Srimad Bhagavatam, Bhagavad Gita, follow the principles, surrender himself by erasing the yoga maya or the maya of from the material world, definitely he's going to attain the Supreme Lord's mercy, and he's going to attain the freedom to meet the Supreme Lord. Now, the beautiful one beautiful thing that I like here is about Chaitanya Prabhu, Lord Sri Chaitanya. He was able to convince Mayavadis and also one of the lead spiritual leader, Prakashana Saraswati, with his explanation, giving it very patiently and explaining about the Supreme Lord. While we know Lord Chaitanya Prabhu, he himself is incarnate of Sri Krishna, he never treats himself as that. He treats himself as a devotee and then goes to place and then preaches about the Supreme Person of Godhead. We all know that again, Lord Krishna is the son of Devaki and Vasudeva, but that's what we know from Puranas. But he is originally the Supreme Personality of Godhead who will his whole cosmic manifestation.